I'm so happy to share another Lotus demonstration. This is per request, and I would like to do a dynamic but simplified version. So just have fun, enjoy this. I'm having a flow brush, a medium-sized flow brush, and I am loading the brush with multiple colors. The first color usually is light that goes on deeper, and then the tip will be touching the second and even the third color progressively and getting each one a little bit less. Okay, and let's share a flower first. So I use the brush slightly at an angle, and I'll do the front side of the petal, which is showing its back. And these petals form kind of a cup. And I work the stroke with a little bit, I call lower the boom pressure, so that you can see the color from those dark become seamlessly transparent to the light. And I go back to that little puddle of what I call the scene of the crime, and I can match the color going up, okay? And you can see the cup is taking shape. So this is the cup. And I usually tell people when I have 3 petals, I do them 2 together, 1 apart. So I have 2 together, 1 apart. They are like gentlemen greeting each other in the morning. Aha, that's my cup. And now I'm using the OAS flow brush. This is a treasure, the all-purpose magical brush. And I'm loading some yellow with light green at the tip. And I'm giving a delicious seapod peeking out from the petal. Do you see that? It's like a custard, a little cake. And then I'm going back to my medium flow brush, OAS medium flow. And I'm again loading the multiple colors at the tip, and I'm putting a saucer around the cup, and I'll make the saucer tilted so my one side, the left, is shorter and the right side longer. That will push the flower to the left. And I'm going to encircle the base with a couple like spoon-shaped petal. Okay, and all these petals are in similar color. They are showing the back side of the petal. And now I'm going to work on the front side. So I'm keeping the back side color, but I'm going to load more red. People always say the lotus in full bloom is like a shy lady, has like a crimson glow inside, like slightly drunk. So we're going to do some of that, and we'll try to again. Isn't that nice? To see how the color change. Did I have my brush dirty? It even have a hint of light green. They call this painting happy accident. This is what happens. Happy accident. Again, I use a little bit of that lower the boom motion. Okay. And then from the center, I push out the handle of the spoon. That's the inside of the spoon, right? Okay, so that is my petal formation. And I can see the saucer may need just to go around the circle a little bit more. So I'll insert maybe just 2 more petals to go full around. And at the very center, I'm going to have more concentrated dark red. And I'll work from the base, and I press the pressure upwards, surrounding the seapod to add a hint of the dark center. And maybe just have a couple more peeking out in the back. And that would be the flower. And now the leaf. This is a brush similar to the OAS Phoenix brush, and I'm loading the multiple color of green now. First some light green and medium green. I'll blend it and I'll work. Imagine this is like another big saucer, and this is the center of the saucer, and I'm going to have the flower, the leaf tilting a little bit to greet the flower. Okay, so I'll start from the front side of the saucer, going from the center, coming downward. I drag the brush as much as I can, and using the pressure, you see how I turn the brush so the green will match, and then the fading part will ease outward. So it's like slicing a pie. I call those flying white, and I treasure them. So it's not like everything needs to be perfect. Sometimes I connect the stroke by overlapping, other times I leave gap, so that way it will be not so monotonous. And then we keep pushing it up on both sides. And you can see that once I use the side of the brush, I allow these edges to fade. Then when I do the top part, it will come all blend together. Now let's work on the top one. Okay, we will load still the same color, the light green and the medium green. And now I am going to push, adding a little bit of the darker greens at the tip area of the brush. And I'll start from the center, leading downward on both sides. And I allow the base area open up. And because we don't load the brush color, the tip color that deep, so that by pressuring it, the color will show variation. Wow. You can see within one stroke, there's wet, there's dry, there's dark and light, and they live happily ever after. while the brush motion continue very forcefully, reaching out, and then I'm having a little touch of dark green with the tip maybe a little bit ink now. I'll work the center part. It's like a little ring, and then it's like the umbrella. It reaches out, and I'm doing this lower the boom stroke so the color would fade as I move out. I work this stroke with in mind that the light is hitting the leaf, so that I don't necessarily need to close all the space. So instead, I'm using the mountain horse brush and working the green now, dark green primarily, relatively dry, and I will lead some of these line work out to define the space a little bit. It's like the stem on the umbrella, and this is how the bone of the lotus leaf extend to try to reach to the edges. And then when they get to the edges, they kind of split open like Y. So occasionally I can do some of this Y and lead it in. Some of the artists, they tend to do a lot of this line. I kind of messed up the natural of the fluidity of the inkwell. So I tend to try to do just enough. So that is my leaf and the flower. And now we're going to have, back to the medium flow brush, I will work the green mixed with the red. So green mixed with the red, and I'll try to work from, see, each of the lotus element is supported with a stalk. So I have one stalk come down to hold the center of the leaf. You see, to be continued, it will reach to that little circle. And then from the seapod, I come down past the petal, extend, fish looking for the same food to meet the leaf. Now, I'll try to have a little bit of the water grass or reeds. Basically, they're just some line to keep the stalk not so lonely. So from the base, follow the stalk in the general vicinity. I have some of these, and I use the mixture of the green and the red because it's agreeable with what's existed. And then I'll extend it out, and this is what is needed to define the space and to reach higher. But you can see I bundle them up so that they don't kill the space. I have one cluster here, one cluster here, And then just a couple little ones, little nursery, little kindergarten, just to bring the group together. So, on the detail, I'm using the Happy Dot brush. Again, I'm using the dark red with some green, mostly dark red, and keep the brush dry. On top of the stalk, they are those little, pimple, little zits. They're very important. They receive nutrients from the air. So, and they kind of like a little station along the highway. Give it excitement. So we do some of that. And then we will use concentrated white. Well, I don't have concentrated white. All right, here we have some concentrated bleed-proof white. This is a secret weapon. And I'm having the brush well lubricated with this white. It's pretty concentrated. And I'm adding a little touch of yellow and I blend it together. So, at the center of the flower, we are adding these happy pollens surrounding the seapod, going around. That's the finale. I hope you enjoyed this brief demonstration. I will see you next time.